Hi, I'm Jean Judd, a textile artist and active member of SACWA, and I'm a pilot member of the Visioning project that was started in 2009 by Lisa Chipetine. In May, Lisa invited myself and 20 others to be the beginning group for the Visioning project, and as I thought about what I wanted to do for my visioning goal, I looked back at some of the work that I was currently working on and just getting started with, and I decided I needed to learn to work in a series. I had about 10 or 20 pieces that I had started. They were even named in a naming convention to be an individual series, but there was only one piece in each series. So I needed to learn how to develop the series and stay with it, and to not follow all of my ideas that kept coming out as I was working on that piece and jumping into new series. So I had 5 series that I just started: Fractured Yellow, Scribble, Stained Glass Mosaic, Art Deco, and Twirling Leaves. So out of these 5 series, I decided that I would select 3 to work on, because I knew that they would take me a lot of time to add pieces to these series, as I do all of my hand stitching, and I don't use machine work for very much of my project, so I realized that they take time. So I selected Fractured Yellow, the Scribble, and Stained Glass Mosaic as the 2 series that I would try to do 2 new pieces in each one, and to move on from there. My Fractured Yellow series, this is the first one that I completed, and this piece is heavily hand stitched both in the center and the outside, as you can see from the design on the back. And this is one of the first pieces that I did that are designed to be able to be hung in any orientation, either vertical or horizontal, so that the image changes as you rotate the piece. In this series, this is the one that's completed. I have 2 other ones that are very much larger than this that are all ready for the hand stitching. They've already been constructed and fractured and basted together for the hand quilting. In my Scribble series, this is Scribble number 1, and this piece is also heavily hand stitched, and it's also designed to hang either horizontally or vertically, which makes it work very well for being able to use it over a sofa or in a long, narrow display area. And this piece, along with Scribble number 2, have been very heavily exhibited in fine art exhibitions, and you can see the stitching and the design technique for being able to hang it in either direction on this piece here. In the Scribble series that I did, or the Stained Glass Mosaic series, I had 4 pieces already completed before I started this project, so I thought this would be a great one to really flesh out, and I would get, 10 pieces that would be good for put something into a gallery. Well, this is Stained Glass Mosaic number 1, and this is Stained Glass Mosaic number 4. The 2 pieces that were in between these have been sold to collectors, and Stained Glass Mosaic number 2 was actually juried into the 500 Art Quilts book that came out in 2010. So that was a byproduct of the Visioning project that I had not anticipated happening, but was very good for myself as an artist and propelled me into being a true studio artist in my mind. And then a new series that developed, because I didn't stay with the 3 that I had selected, was I started working on this series, which is called Contaminated Water. The very first piece is not here because that's currently out on exhibition in Mesa, Arizona for an upcoming contemporary art exhibit. But this is number 2, Pond Scum, and this is also heavily hand stitched as well and designed so that it can be hung either vertically or horizontally. And it was purposely made with just following the edge of the fabric. I did not square it off on this piece. And this is Contaminated Water number 3, Sludge, and this was started way before the oil spill in the Gulf, but it seems to fit right in with what was happening down there. Another series that I started as I was going through this process was called Sound Waves, and this is Sound Waves number 2, White Noise. And this is made with my own hand-dyed fabric that was banded during the process and made the design that to me looked like the sound waves from an oscilloscope. And this is also heavily hand-stitched and also designed to be able to hang either vertically or horizontally as well. The piece that I worked on that is one of my larger pieces during this whole process, of which I completed 11 artworks, is Twirling Leaves number 2. And this piece started in the center and was designed out using a twirling design, and these fabrics are from the 70s. And you can see the heavy hand stitching in the back, especially in the borders where there are hand stitched leaves, and these leaves are made from a rubber tree plant. that were shrunk down to fit this process. And this has also been exhibited in several fine art exhibitions as well. Then back to some of the pieces that I had started with. The Art Deco series, this is the piece completed for Art Deco, and there are several more that are drawn out that I still have not gotten the construction done or the hand stitching, and this is also heavily hand stitched as well, as you can see from the background. As I was going through these processes and learning new things, I also wanted to experiment with rust pigmentation on my own and developed a few techniques that were different. This is using architectural iron to transfer the image on to the hand-dyed fabric, and then it is heavily hand-stitched, and this is also made so that it can be hung in any orientation as well. And then the other piece that I did in my Designing with Rust series is this piece of hand-dyed fabric that then has rust pigmentation added using iron filings, and this is called Rusted Lace number 1, and there are 2 other pieces that are in the process on this one as well. And this is the back side of it showing the hand stitching. And this one is, since it doesn't matter how it's hung, is only designed to hang in one orientation. During the process of the visioning project in the first year, I completed 11 artworks, and I have 15 other ones that are in progress. And that is the most productive I have been in all of the years that I have been designing and making quilts since 1991. During the process, I learned that I had to figure out what would validate me as an artist and what would make me exceed my goals. And the whole process helped me to refine what I was doing, be more regimented. I started blocking off specific time for doing the different activities, whether it was marketing myself, doing mailing lists, doing postcards, writing articles that I had published that happened during this whole process as well. And I really realized that there was so much more I could accomplish even in the limited time frames that I had. And I also gleaned so much from the other participants and what they were doing in their projects that were not things I was initially interested in, but I have notes and notes of things that as I'm going I will be able to incorporate into promoting myself. And one of the big things that I learned during the process was that I joined the networking group LinkedIn early on, and that has led to gallery representation in December of 2010 in San Francisco, which was an unplanned goal that just materialized out of nowhere, and it was very exciting. So I'm looking forward to a very profitable experience with that gallery out there. Thanks for following the journey, and I look forward to 2011 and beyond.